All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Santa Rita Union School District School Board meeting on Wednesday, August the 14th. I hereby call to order this meeting. Roll call, please.
Ms. Sarah Turner,
Present.
Ms. Alvarado,
Here.
Mr. Jacob Sandoval.
Here.
Mr. Neil Patel.
Present and willing and able. Thank you.
Ms. Cindy Lopez is not here this evening.
Okay. All right. Well, I love the start. What else can I say? Pledge of Allegiance to me, it's a big deal. So I'm going to confer. I think the last person to do it, was it you, Jacob, I think?
I remember now.
Well, I was
Feels like
hoping,
it's been a while.
Alva, considering, you're the most tenured person here, thank you very much. And I mean that with respect.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, fellow board members, hopefully be able to review tonight's board agenda. Before I ask for a motion, any changes? Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye, Captain.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, here we go for closed sessions 2.1. We have quite a few items. We have 2.1, potential litigation, 2.2, potential employee performance evaluation, and 2.3, public employee appointments, employment evaluation, discipline, etc. Do we have any comments?
We do not.
All right. I going to go into closed session now. Can I get a motion?
Motion to adjourn the closed session.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Captain.
Motion 4-0.
Any questions? We good, board? We good? All right. Alrighty then. All right, welcome back, everybody, to Santa Rita Union School District Board Meeting on August 14th. We are reconvening back into open session. During closed session, the board denied the request for unpaid leave of absence for employee number 160397, and the vote was 4-0. All right, we're gonna move forward with here we go. 5.1. Board members, hopefully you've reviewed the agenda. Can I any changes to? Go ahead.
It's a motion to approve the consent agenda, I think it is.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Okay.
motion to approve consent agenda items 5.2 to 5.4.
Second.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, Captain.
Motion 4-0.
All right, we're gonna move forward with 6.6.0 reports and correspondence. First up is 6.1 ELOP Summer Academy. Right at School Spotlight. Is that right?
Yes.
Gotta double check that.
Okay. Let's do that again, rewind. Good evening, members of the board and members of the Santa Rita community. My name is Dr. Madonna Catiz. I'm the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program Coordinator for the district. Since I assumed this role during the last quarter of last school year, a top priority was to make sure that we could plan and roll out a robust summer school program for our students, and which included providing expanded learning opportunities that would extend beyond the summer school day. And that was what we did. Next slide, please. So this summer, we had the opportunity to serve an average of 340 students daily for all the summer school days that we had. And through the amazing work of our teachers, the support of our school staff, the guidance of Dr. Smith, and the leadership of our summer school admins, we were able to provide our students a very enriched and well-rounded summer school program. And then so to talk more about the program offerings and activities that we had, I now turn you over to Ms. Tina Ramos, who is our summer school principal.
Thank you. Next one, please, Gilbert. Awesome. Thank you. So in designing this summer school experience, we're very grateful to Dr. Catiz and Dr. Summer Prather-Smith. I always say her full name. I don't know why. We were very grateful to them into this process. It was very collaborative, and they really asked us what we wanted the experience to be. And obviously they already knew, but it was great that it was a very collaborative experience, and it was all about learning, fun, and friendships. What was really great about it was a fun experience for our students because it wasn't just about what grade they were going to get. It wasn't just about the standards, but it was about allowing them to have this great experience with all of our enrichment programs, our outdoor activities, our field trips, and having those friendships with not just the students that they normally see on their own campuses, but the friendships they make with students across other campuses in our districts. And it was just really great to see from an outside perspective. Next. Thank you. And so here's how we started. We had staff PD days in May and in June with all of our classified and certificated staff. And we also had our summer academy went from June 4th to July 2nd, and that was 20 instructional days. And we also had an amazing schedule designed by Dr. Catiz. It was one of the things that all of our staff was most excited about. In our feedback that we sent out to all of our staff members, the biggest thing that we got was this was an amazingly designed schedule. If you saw the schedule that we had on our Google spreadsheet, you would be amazed. It was perfect, and it was concise, and everyone was obsessed with it because she is a genius. She's a spreadsheet queen. And we had 7:30 to 8, we had breakfast, and we had instructional and enrichment time. And we had facilitated group games by our Playworks coaches and our classified staff. Everyone was trained, and we had summer camp after school. Our staff also had professional development. So, and they got that on our curriculum that we used. They had Playworks professional development, which you'll see some pictures of that in the montage we have. It was hilarious and so cute. It was a great day. They had health and safety professional development, and from Tanya and I, they had program logistics. Our enrichment opportunity. Thank you. Our enrichment opportunities were really great as well. For our kinder to fourth grade classes, they worked with Yoli Arts to have art. For our fifth and sixth grade classes, they had dance. Seventh and eighth grade did music, and targeted ELD for seventh grade and PE for sixth, seventh, and eighth grade taught by Mr. Jake Flores. And they had mainstreaming opportunities for all of our ESY classes, and then a PM summer camps. And some of the great things that they had opportunities to do, we had Zune Zune, which is watershed performances, violin guitar showcase, puppet shows in every class. The Pirate and the Kraken visit came for Yoli Arts. You'll see some photos of that too. We heard them all day in the office when the Kraken came, and it was a big commotion, but it was so cute. And to end our summer school, our summer academy, we went to go see Peter Pan in San Jose, and it was a really amazing experience taking the students to the theater. We cried. It was great. All right, Tanya.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Tanya Vossler, and I was the assistant principal for our summer academy. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit this year for summer. I'm going to talk to you about our partners and who we partnered with this summer for a lot of our activities. We did with several groups, and they provided a variety of extension activities for our students. Some of these people we partnered with were during the day, and some of these were partnered with for after school. So Yoli Arts, and Tina already mentioned a little bit of this, but they provided daily art within the classroom for grades TK through fourth. And for example, one of the activities included students learning how to make puppets using a variety of art materials. And then they asked the students, they asked the students to create stories and communicate their stories to the whole class using their puppet that they had made. And then ACFA, they provided the guitar and folklorico lessons to our upper grade students. CIBDO on the bottom right there, they worked with our Mesteco students in the after school time, and they engaged them with a variety of activities, including PE, art, music, a little bit of everything. And then we did pilot programs with Playworks and Right at School. Playworks, they worked with our staff during the daytime area before after school to show them how to engage students in a variety of games. And during recess time, the Playworks leaders and the staff encourage and engage the students to participate in many different types of games and activities that were interactive, they were positive play, and even collaborative. And then Right at School worked with the students who needed after school care. They offered the students a positive, uplifting, safe, inviting, and engaging environment in which they could learn and play. And these two groups, the next slide, if you want, we did pilot. We piloted with them during the summer, but as you know, we've made commitments to them for the school year. So we have Right at School now for our after school program happening at 4 sites, and Playworks will be working with us to begin engaging the students in some very positive play during our recess times. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jessica Alicia. I'm a 6th grade teacher at JGE. Sorry. And oh yeah, here we go. And I was able to work with our up and coming 6th graders. So the transition was great. For me, I had the privilege of not only working, but I'm also a parent of 2 students that attended summer school. So as a teacher, they were coming with me to the program. And so at first they were like, no. But due to all the extracurricular activities, they loved it. My daughter actually ended up every day trying to beg me to stay for the after school program because all her friends were there. So it was a great opportunity. And overall, it was really nice to be able to build connections with students where there wasn't like the weight hanging over, we have to get to a certain point. It was like, slow down, like see them as people, talk to, like, teach the whole child, be able to build those relationships and help them to transition in the upcoming school year. So for us, everyone that I talked to, as far as the teachers and the kids, they loved it. They were able to make real connections. I think it was really important that the extracurricular activities were during the school day, not just after, because they were able to see that the things that they're passionate about and the interests that they have relate to their real life, their real world experiences. So I think the integration of both during the same time was positive, and the fact that the teachers were able to be there for them, great. My son was one of the performers. He doesn't like being in the spotlight, and he had told me he had no role in the dance. And I was recording and all this, that, and he's the main showpiece for the dance, and he's the bull in the dance. And I was like, I was laughing, I was crying. It was all the emotions, right? But it was those pieces being integrated into the day that helped all of the kids just come alive. So it was a great experience overall.
Hi, my name is Mary Burback. I've never spoken at a podium before. This is kind of weird. I apologize. So I teach kindergarten at La Jolla, and I had the privilege of teaching one of the rising first grade classes in the summer academy. And I've taught summer school every year that I've taught. So it's been 13 years. And I have to say, Madonna, this was by far, hands down, the most organized, the most comprehensive, the least amount of stress. You provided curriculum for us. You provided training for us. We didn't have to scramble to try to figure out what to do with the kids all day and have everybody doing different things. We were all on the same page. We were able to coordinate and communicate as a rising first team lead group. Sorry. So I can't speak for the other grades. I could speak for our rising first group. We were really connected. We stayed together. We shared ideas. And they asked me to go over the pre and post test results. And so we had a pre-test that we had to give and then a post test at the end. Yes. And as you can imagine, kindergartners going into first grade are not able to read. And we had huge passages that Summer can show you. So that meant that we had 3 passages for the pre-test and then 4 questions for each passage. So we had to read for each of I had 18 students, each passage, and then read all of the questions and then the multiple choice options for 12 questions, 3 passages. It was a lot. It took over a week just to get through. And because kinders and ELs are visual learners and not auditory learners, it was a struggle. So sometimes they got the answer right, but I don't think they really knew what the answer was. And, sometimes they got it wrong when I thought they might know what it is. So all that to say, I wanted to share one of the learning activities that we did in our class that I felt showed really deep thinking and growth for our students. And it was because of the art program that was supported or given to us every day. So we would go to recess and then we would come back and we'd have 40 minutes of art. So in the morning before recess, I would do our ELA lesson, which we were really focusing on comprehension. So in kindergarten, you're looking at, can they recognize the beginning, middle, ending of a story? Can they recognize characters and can they recognize setting? So the art program was wanting to do a puppet show. So the art teachers and I coordinated and collaborated, and we decided to come up with, because there was going to be 4 adults in the room during the art time, breaking up the kids into 4 different groups and having each one of them retell a story that they would have known from before. So we had one group doing Jack and the Beanstalk, one doing the 3 Little Pigs, one doing the Gingerbread Man, and one doing Goldilocks and the 3 Bears. And then within that, they were able to adapt it to whatever they wanted. So my group was doing the 3 Little Pigs, and I had one student in the group. They had to divide up the characters, and one wanted to be an Among Us pig. So we said, okay, you're an Among Us pig. And then another wanted to be a fairy pig. So she was a fairy pig. And then another said, no, they have to be real pigs. So mine's going to be a real pig. We're not doing anything fancy. Then we had the big bad wolf. So within that, then they had to write out the story. They had to define the characters, right? So that's deeper thinking. They have to put it down on paper. Then they had to make their puppet, and then it had to be true to their character. We had to practice the play. We practiced it several times. So this whole process took 2 weeks, and we spent a good 2 hours a day on it. And they were so into it. I had 18 students. I didn't have one say, I don't want to do this, or I'm bored. Not once. And I've never had that experience. I've been teaching a long time, and I was thinking, and then they got to perform the play and we recorded it, and it was just so incredible. And they all came away really understanding deeply these stories and how they're put together and how they work and how they can work together as students for the play. And anyway, it was because we had 4 adults, we had the extra support. And it, let's see, am I missing anything? Yeah, no. Okay. And we, because of that extra support, it was really just so meaningful. And knowing that the kids were taken care of out at recess with the playwork staff, I didn't have any behavioral issues. I didn't have 5 kids running to me after recess saying, these hurt my feelings, blah, blah, blah," that you have to untangle for 10 or 15 minutes, any teacher knows. So, thank you for that. Thank you, board, for, providing that for our students. And I really hope that we can do this every year because it was so meaningful. And every teacher I talk to says, oh, I want to do that next year. So I think there's going to be lots of arm wrestling for who gets to teach if we do this again. So anyway, thank you for your time.
And our math was also very successful. If you just wanted to know, you're good. We got really great feedback for our math pre and post as well. Is this? I never know if I hear myself. If we'll just go through this quickly. We also saw really great gains in our math scores. With our teachers able to have smaller class sizes and really work with our students one-on-one in every class in our upper grades. They also had paras in there helping as well. There was really great time for them to do small group intervention, which was really successful, as you can see from the growth that we had in our pre and post tests, which is awesome.
Mine was 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And here's a little view of some of the great things that we got to do in Summer Academy.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Darling, it's been a long, lonely winter. Darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Darling, the smile returning to the faces. Darling, it seems like since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. I see it slowly melting. Darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes
Miss Tina was the one that smithed together that wonderful montage. And as you can see, it really highlighted how our students had hands-on activities, music, dance, and just a lot of fun. So in closing, I wanted to share that as we transition to this new school year, we successfully rolled out expanded learning opportunities at all our elementary school sites, provided parents an off-campus option in our continued partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, and plan to provide students winter and spring intercession camps, and of course, an expanded summer school program again for next year, as we are required to provide our students 210 days of expanded learning program opportunities. So that's it for our presentation. The floor is now open if you have any questions or comments. Oh, comments.
Sorry, I have my own comment. So before we close out this section, I just wanted to come forward before the board and this amazing team and all of you here today to say that as a district, we've committed to recognizing the accomplishment, not just of our students, but of our staff as well. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the extraordinary achievements of our very own Dr. Madonna Katis. Dr. Katis's journey is a powerful testament to the values of the Santa Rita Union School District: hard work, dedication, and the pursuit of opportunity. In 2002, Madonna arrived in the United States from the Philippines as part of an international teacher program, joining one of the first groups of Filipino educators to come and support the growing need for special education teachers in California. At just 25 years old, Madonna took a courageous leap, leaving behind her family, her home, her country, driven by the promise of new opportunities. Through her sheer determination and relentless effort, Madonna not only served her students with passion, but also committed herself to her own growth and development. From an exchange visa to a work visa and to ultimately citizenship, her path has been one of perseverance and resilience. Dr. Katis earned her master's degree and then her PhD, placing her among the elite group of women in the United States. Only 2% of US women hold a doctoral degree. And of that 2%, less than 3% are first-generation Filipinas. This underscores just how exceptional her accomplishment truly is. Dr. Katis is a role model, not just for our students, but for her colleagues and friends who have witnessed her unwavering dedication and the sacrifices she has made. Today, we honor Dr. Katis. We see you, we recognize you, and we are profoundly honored to have you as part of the Santa Rita Union School District team. Congratulations, Dr. Katis. Your achievements inspire us all. Now,
All right. Fellow board members, let's start down the line here. Sarah, would you like to go first with any comments?
I'm all teared up when thank you to all of the incredible work with our students. If they don't see things, they don't know that they're possible. So the more opportunities we give them, the more amazing adults that they get to have in contact with, the bigger ideas they can have of what's possible. So thank you for all of the hard work that went into all of these programs. Thank you.
I'm really impressed by the summer school. And the reason being is because my two grandkids attended the summer school. And every day that I picked them up, or just about every day, the puppet came home. And I'm almost sure that was my grandson who had that Hmong, is it the Hmong puppet? Because that's exactly what he told me when he came home. So and it was just, you could tell. My daughter-in-law said that every day, every morning, he wanted to come to the summer school. There wasn't one day that they didn't want to go. They were excited. So anyways, I attended the last day of summer school, and it was the presentation with the baile and guitar. And I'll tell you, that was so amazing because in 4 weeks, think about it, in 4 weeks, they learned to play the guitar. They learned to dance. And I did see, I think your son, who was he the bull? Oh yeah. I didn't know he was your son though, but it was great. And I just thought it was amazing that within four weeks, they did so much and there was so much progress and the excitement that the kids actually, they loved it. They loved going there. So on my behalf, and I'm sure everybody else here, we are so grateful for having such a great summer school. I hope it continues. And not only my grandkids, but as I went onto that campus, the kids were just so happy. They weren't tired and they went home at 12, 1 o'clock, but still it was great. It was good to see. And I got to see Jake Flores, Mrs. Papanow, I think her name is, Summer. And it was, and like your presentation said, they did a lot of learning. They had fun and there were a lot of friendships. So it was good. So thank you so much for all of your efforts in putting it together, and Dr. Katis and Summer. So thank you. Thank you.
No, I was gonna say thank you, everybody, to the staff and the teachers putting it together. It's a lot of amazing programs that are being up out there for our students that are going to help them on their journey through life. So I just want to say thank you. I had a question on there. It said 340 average attendance. So did we have some days?
Fluctuate because
Okay.
some people would leave, they would come for the first 2 weeks and then they went on vacation. We didn't.
We didn't say to a student, like, if you can't attend the whole time, don't come. We were like, if you can come for a week, come for a week. So, it would change. So maybe a new student would start and another student leave, but so that was the average.
Do you know how many we capped out as far as how many signed up?
A little over 400.
Oh, that's really good. 400. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm also very thankful for all the partners too, because it looked like a lot of the program that also helped a lot was the programs and the partners that came through. So thank you, everybody, for putting that together.
First of all, excellent presentation. Thank you very much for presenting today. This is exactly what we needed. We needed a successful summer academy, exactly what the doc told us, ordered. And so it looks like the doctor delivered. Awesome success. Having said that, I like what I saw. I like the idea of providing additional opportunities and bringing in the community programs, and making sure this is a community grassroots effort, including everyone in our Santa Rita family, and to create this awesome ELOP, additional learning opportunity. A couple of things I did see was two main things: was play and fun, having fun and playing. And all studies show that that is what's lacking in education. If you really want to work on developing students, their internal belief system, their courage, being courageous, dealing with various issues, we really need to provide that opportunity for them to get away and do what naturally they should be doing. And that is developed through having fun and playing. So I've really liked to, I love that component of all the activities. The other thing I really liked was the bridge. The idea that internally we're having our own teachers working to help transition students from one grade to another. Who best knows our students than the teachers, who are gonna, I like to say we're a community, we raise a family, we're responsible for each other. So I really appreciate that bridge. And last but not least, I saw three things that a board member I'd like to see. And that was, number one, I saw academic support. Number two, I saw mental wellness. And number three, I saw social development. And so I would like to continue to grow this program. That's my only request, is that grow, baby, grow, baby, grow. I liked what I saw. I would love to see more of it. So, I hope we endeavor next year to grow the program, early recruiting, whatever we need to do. So I love the success. We got a room at your house? Well, we got the space. Thank you. Thank you very much, by the way, once again. All right, we're going to move forward to our reports. We're going to go to 6.2, Santa Rita Teachers Association. Do we have a representative?
We do not.
Can I make a request also? I know
Sure.
we have quite a few public comments.
Okay.
Would it be possible to move up 7.1 after 6.3? Just allows those folks to speak in case they have to be going somewhere.
I think that would be a perfect juncture to introduce that. So
Okay.
with board approval, I would like to move up 7.1 after 6.3, if I can get a motion. Do we need a
Motion.
motion?
To move up the public comment.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
4-0.
Captain. All right. So we're gonna move with 6.3 first, and then we're gonna move with
6.2.
6.3.
We did 6.2.
We
We
did.
did it.
Yeah.
There's-
All right. We're gonna move to 6.3 CSCA. Do we have any representative?
Ms. Casillas, our CSCA chapter president, emailed a statement to me because she was unable to be here tonight. So I'll read that for her. Good evening, everyone. Classes have resumed and all classified staff have returned to their assigned duties. As we begin another exciting school year, I would like to acknowledge the custodians, maintenance, and groundskeepers for all their hard work during the summer in preparation of the classrooms and school sites to welcome our students. To the library media technicians, the kitchen staff, and the office staff, they all play a huge and important part in making sure everything is ready upon the return of the students and staff. CSEA met with Ms. Claudia Arellano, Ms. Becky Moore, Dr. Summer Prather-Smith, and Ms. Rosa Zamudio to discuss questions and concerns about the ACES program. Thank you for meeting with us and for your support. Juana Casillas, CSEA Chapter President.
Thank you very much. All right, we're gonna move to the public comment section. First up is 7.1, public comment for non-agenda items.
Not for non-agenda items.
All right. We're gonna move forward with our second public comment, 7.2 for agendized items.
Yes, we have 5 and I'll go in order. Miss Mary Molina, and it is for ACES concerns.
Hello. My name is Mary Molina. Is it on? Is it? Yeah, it's green. Come on. I don't know how this works. Okay, so my name is Mary Molina and I am from the ACES program, which is the After School Education and Safety Program. We have been at Santa Rita for quite a long time. We came on the first day of school, prepared, ready to go. We finally had gotten a full staff at the end of last year. We also had gotten our acceptance of 3 more years in the ACES program and our funding for that. Come to find out, first day, none of us had a job in the ACES program. It was completely wiped out. What came about was the right at school. None of us were told. Not only that, so that's one of the things we would like to know is why were we not told until the first day of school that ACES had been taken out and right at school was put in its place. Second, I would like to know, or we would like to know, is why were the parents not involved or informed about that? Why was the teachers, the school staff, not informed or involved with that? And the students as well. They had expected to come into the first day of ACES and expect to see us because they have been there throughout the years. Also, wanted to know, as far as the right at school, we've heard from the students that the right at school told them that we quit. So we would like to know why they're influencing our kids in telling them that we quit when we're trying to see about what's going on. We were told that our positions were not available anymore because it was right at school program now. So we were separated. We were told that there was only one position for each school in the after school program that we could go into. Come to find out, we see the job announcements today, just a little while ago, and it says that at Santa Rita for the after school program, there are 3 positions available, extra positions available for the after school program from 1 to 6:30, which was our hours, which was our after school program that we were in. It obviously doesn't say ACES. So those are kind of the questions that we would like to know. And hopefully you would be able to answer those. The stuff that Right at School does, that's exactly what we did. Our students had a curriculum. They had their recess time, our structured recess time, our snack time, our dinner time, and our homework time and enrichment time as well. We had all of that. I understand, having Right at School at the other schools that didn't have ACEs in them, but we would like to know what happened to ACEs at the Santa Rita.
Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Mr. Felipe Ramos.
Good evening. I'm going to read something that I received from somebody from the school. Dear Superintendent and Board of Trustees, I was informed by employees and parents of Santa Rita Elementary School that Santa Rita School District is making a decision to remove the ACES program. I was also asked to write to you about how the ACES program supported our Santa Rita students while I was the school principal of Santa Rita Elementary School. I had the privilege of having the ACES program support our students during my employment with the district. The majority of our students enrolled at Santa Rita Elementary come from families that are new to the U.S. and have limited schooling and do not have the skills and resources to support their students in the school system that we provide. Many of our families do not speak English, and many do not even speak Spanish, the language to which most formal school documents are translated into. Bridging that gap is our responsibility as educators if we want our students to succeed and get the important skills that they need to later compete in their school, career, and future employment. This was my experience with the ACES program at Santa Rita Elementary. The ACES program was an extended school day for the students that participate in the program. I was always so impressed with how the ACES program connected the school teacher, the parent, and the student. Santa Rita teachers recommended the students to the program, and once the student met the criteria to be in the program, the teachers worked directly with the paraprofessional that instructed them exactly what skills the students needed to focus on during the tutoring. And the paraprofessionals communicated with the parents when they picked up their student. Every minute of the ACES program was supervised and accounted for. At certain times, we had to put students on a waiting list because the program was full. The way I would explain ACES is that it's a program to bridge the missing link for our students that lack the support they need at home with their academics to succeed in school. The ACES program provided that link. Students continue working with what they learned during the day at school or what they were learning for the week. They also got help with their homework when they needed it. The ACES program provides that educational enrichment that these students really need and cannot get at home. I would encourage you to take a good look at what the ACES program provides for our students at Santa Rita Elementary before making the decision to remove it or replace it. Perhaps you can ask the school teachers, the students and the parents that participate in the program so they can truly get a full picture of how this amazing program supports everyone involved. I was fortunate enough to be able to see this program in action every day. I supported my staff with whatever they needed to support the amazing job that they were doing with our students in the ACES program, because we saw real test results of students improving in their academics and overall connection with their school. Respectfully, Ana R. Cuevas, former Santa Rita Elementary principal.
Thank you very much.
Next is Alexa.
So
I'll grab it. I'll do it. Yeah. Hold on, let me grab it. There you go.
Hi, my name is Alexa, and I have gone to the ACES program for 4 years, and my academic records have really improved. One thing about the Right at School program, we only get 20 minutes of homework, which is really not enough. Also, I talked to one of them, and they said that the ACES program quit, and I did not believe that because I know they like to help their students a lot. And when they said that, I started to investigate so I could see what was the matter and going on with this. And when on the first day of school, I expected to be with the ACES, not that program. So when I found that I was going to that program, I was shocked and surprised that I was going there, because since I've been enrolled in the ACES for 4 years, I have expected to be there. And they helped me a lot. My academic records improved, my reading levels improved, and I have had more help. And my homework has been really good, really good. The other students there also had improved a lot recently.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Next is Mia.
Hi, my name is Mia, and I will be telling you that what I love the most about the ACES. The first thing I love about the ACES is that I love learning. I love about the teachers. They're so nice, funny, cool, and they help us a lot. And I really love about the dinner time snacks because I'm mostly really hungry a lot. The second thing I love about the ACES is that I like to do homework with my teacher, and I love when he helps me, and I love it when when he helps you with my homework. And I just really want the ACES back because I don't think the Right at School program is good enough. And
That was really good. Thank you so much. That was, wow.
Okay. We have one more, Wendy Enrique Vasquez.
hello, my name's Wendy. I've been in the after school program since I've been in elementary. Um, um, the after school program was really helpful. It helped my parents a lot because they will always be out of work really late. But the after school program the people from the after school program, the teachers and everything, they will help us a lot with our homework, and it wouldn't
stressed my parents a lot because it was also like a safe place and they knew that it was a safe place. And well, all my siblings have been going to the after school program, but now that it's not there, well, my siblings come at me and tell me that it's not the same no more and that they only have 20 minutes of doing work and they don't really like that. Like they rather work than be playing or be playing in the playground and stuff like that. And
Thank you very, very much.
thank you.
All right. Thank you for everyone for sharing your concerns. We hear you, we see you. We can't publicly comment, but Jacob, go ahead.
I just want a clarifying question to staff. Could you explain just for our own information, the public, what changes there was compared to the ACE or the right of school, or what the difference is that structurally or anything else that you kind of potentially share?
So do you want to?
I just,
Oh.
can I just say one more thing before, because I forgot? Uh, on top of the fact that we weren't told on the very first day, we were not given we were told when we spoke with HR that that the reason why they took out the ACES program was because we didn't have the numbers. The only problem with that was that we were never invited to orientation in order to hand out applications to the parents for them to sign up for this year. Last year's was the first year that they had orientation. Our coordinator did that. Unfortunately, fortunately for her, but unfortunately for us, she retired this past year. So we were expecting for one of us to be there and have those numbers at the beginning of the year, but we were never invited to orientation for that. In previous years, there was no orientation, so we started off our numbers like on the second day of school because we had to inform the teachers. The teachers had to we had to give them the applications. They gave the applications to the students gave it to the parents, and the parents handed it in by the next day. So then they started the program on the next day. But this year we were not given that chance. We weren't told that it was switching from one to the other. So that's kind of where we're wondering what happened.
So to speak a little bit to the funding, so ACES falls under the umbrella of ELOP. So originally, prior to ELOP expanded learning, ACES was it was a grant that was applied for that applied after school programming to the schools that applied for it. That's why that grant only existed at Santa Rita Elementary and not at our other sites. As you know, in 2020, the state implemented the requirement to begin to expand learning to the 9-hour school day, and ELOP funding was put into place for all schools. There is a requirement to provide ELOP. It's not an optional. ACES is an optional grant program that we can apply for. ELOP is required by the state. So as we started to create that ELOP plan and put that into effect, some of the questions came up around the opportunity of what they call braiding funds. So schools who had ACES programs, because ACES has a limited funding source, the funding is much less because it's grant funded, and ELOP has a large funding source. What happens is if the funds are not braided together, then ACES has to operate on its own outside of ELOP. And one of the challenges that came forward often is the equity in service. So students who may be participating in the same campus in an ELOP program may have access to lots of different supports. They may have arts and music and additional pieces that couldn't be offered under that ACES grant. And so for equity purposes, 99.9% of schools braid those fundings together to make sure that students can receive both sources because ELOP is required. ELOP meets the requirement of ACES for ACES numbers, but ACES can't meet that requirement under ELOP if they're not braided together.
Okay. That was my questions. Thank you.
Right, we good? Once again, thank you everybody for coming and presenting. And especially to the three students, you know, you were brave, you showed courage. Thank you very, very much for speaking up. Very impressed, very impressed. Thank you for being here. Okay, we're gonna move, we have to go back to 6.4. We're gonna continue our regular agenda items. 6.4 Superintendent's Cabinet Report.
We'll start with Assistant Superintendent of Ed Services, Becky Moore.
Thank you. The order was reversed on me. So all of, I think, cabinet got to visit schools on the first day of school. We got to pop into all 6 of our schools. And this is definitely the smoothest school opening that we've had since before the pandemic. It just felt very calm, settled, and joyful on every campus. And so it was so nice to be able to see that, to see our students back, our teachers back, and everything going well. I've been working closely with Claudia, and I'm super happy that she's here now taking over HR. But we've been working together, meeting with CSEA, particularly regarding ACES and the ELOP. So we're looking forward to continuing those conversations to make sure that we can really find a solutions that are going to work for everybody. Also met with Santa Rita and the literacy coach grant that we have through the state. We had our orientation to year 2 today. And so it's exciting to hear about the opportunities that we have with that. And we've also begun some of the work. And so it was really neat to be at their staff meeting last week, their first staff meeting, when the literacy coach, their current academic coach, Patricia, and their new assistant principal, Jeanette, introduced the LCR grant and our goals that we've written within that to the staff and how the staff are embracing that. And finally, I'm looking forward to visiting classrooms, particularly next week. I was trying to give everyone a chance to settle in, but I'm excited to visit classrooms together with some of our principals and see how things are going with our new scope and sequence plans. Thank you.
Okay. Our Director of Engagement and School Climate, Dr. Prather Smith.
I have 2 informational items, so and a presentation. I just wanted to really welcome Haley Heron, who is our new restorative practice TOSA. I think I shared that with you. She has hit the ground running. She's welcome to being a restorative practice TOSA on the first weeks of school. So we're really excited to have her. She's serving district-wide, really focusing on our middle schools, but serving wherever there's a need. I'm really grateful to have her as part of our team.
Our Chief Human Resources Officer, Miss Claudia Ariano.
Hello. So echoing what Assistant Superintendent Moore was describing about the first day of school, I had the opportunity to join her, and it is always fascinating going to, especially to the elementary schools, observing, first graders saying, "Mom, don't move, wait for me outside." So I had a lot of fun doing that. Also echoing what Juanita Casillas shared in her announcement with regards to classified staff. I did get to observe all of them working hard, just getting our schools ready for everyone to return to back to school. And lastly, we just continuing our recruitment efforts, trying to fill all the positions that we currently have open.
And then our Chief Business Officer, Miss Rosa Zamudio.
Good evening. So just to follow up from our last board meeting, I did attach a copy of the school site allocations to the Friday letter. I hope you had a chance to review that. This week, we pretty much been working with the auditors. They were here on site from, I believe it was Monday. It's been 3 days to this Wednesday. Yes. So they be here with us and working with them. And we just scheduled the next visit, which is going to be towards the end of September, which they're going to be looking at our numbers. Right now, they look at our attendance or ASV, HR files, AP, and all of that. Nothing major, nothing that it's surprising as of today. But again, we have another visit coming up, and we'll provide more information as we move forward with the process.
And then our Director of Special Education and Student Services, Ms. Melanie Grundy.
Perfect. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of our media techs district-wide. I started working with them in the spring, and we ended up checking in all of our special education assessment kits, which was a very big feat for a lot of our school sites. So they did our school psych assessment kits, all of our special ed teacher kits, and just logged them in our Destiny system. And now we have an organization system. Everyone has them checked out, and it's just a very clean process. So I'm very excited about that and really thankful. Huge kudos to our McKinnon Media Tech team. They were able to log in all of our new special education curriculum and get it out to teachers. It was a lot of curriculum, so I'm very grateful for that. Our district BCBA, Andrea Nashe, and I had the opportunity to present for our district-wide kickoff, where we focused on behavior 101. We did behavior de-escalation strategies and positive reinforcement. It was really well received. We did lots of activities and hands-on and got a lot of really positive feedback. So I'm thankful for her for co-presenting with me. Our nurses, Elizabeth Settleman and Nora Hale, were able to put on a Tdap or a vaccine clinic where we really focused on the Tdap for our 7th graders. We got all of our 7th graders vaccinated, and we were missing one, but we are working with that family to get that done as soon as possible. So a big shout out and thank you to them for all their hard work, just organizing, keeping track of it, and all their outreach. They started in the spring reaching out to families and just really collaborating with families and needs. Our new program managers, Stephanie and Janelle, are doing a fantastic job. They presented last week to all our new teachers, so we pulled them for a whole day, our special ed teachers and our service providers, and did some comprehensive training around our IEP Cyrus system, best practices around IEPs, and it was really a really good work session. Teachers got to practice, and it was great. So, and then today, last but not least, we did our all sped PLC over at New Republic. And just really went over all of the nuances to the school year starting, really emphasized the importance of parent outreach, utilizing Parent Square, and just really collaborating and working with our families. And it was just a good opportunity to see the whole team together. So I'll include pictures in our next Friday letter, but it was really great. So that's it for me.
Alrighty then, we're gonna keep moving forward to 6.5, Board and Superintendent's Report. Cindy's not here. Alva, would you like to go first today?
I'm sure.
Oh, actually, Sarah.
Sarah.
Well, I was going by the list, but I think in order of placement, Board, yes, Sarah, please.
In my own professional life, it's been the beginning of school, so obviously very busy. I've also been helping our Santa Rita TK teacher, who's been staying with me while she transitions to an apartment. And so we've had a very, very good time. My brother's like, they could stay. I'm like, I think they would be sick of us. I think they're going to be, but it's been lovely and a fun adventure. I did want to mention, I was just looking into if we could look at some of the websites. I was trying to get some information, and we have menus that don't go anywhere in some of them where I click on it and there's nothing there, and there's other things. Like if you're trying to look at if you want to find out who's the principal or vice principal, you have to click on the About Us, and then it gives you a drop-down menu that you have to then click on Administration. And to me, that should be something really obvious, not something that you have to, I had to hunt, and I was like, I don't want our families to have to do that. So if we could look at one, do all the menus, does every branch do the thing we want it to do? And then two, how can we get some information up front and center that people need rather than having to network to it? Because I did not find it user friendly. And in fact, I got passed that task by somebody else who couldn't accomplish it. And I said, okay, let me dig down. So it looks really good, but we need to make sure that the information is more accessible than it is. Thank you.
My turn. I was over at McKinnon on the first day of school, and it was a very good transition. Somebody was saying something about it being a really good transition. There was music and kids looking for their friends and hugging. And so it was a really good first day. Sorry, excuse me. The teachers, they were all, went to go pick some up at the cafeteria. But what really I had to put, it was a smile on my face. I see Mrs. Toy coming through, and she has her long little line of babies, their kids, and and she's walking all really, cool, and there was a paraprofessional way in the back. I'm sure it was a paraprofessional with a baby, one of the kids hollering and not wanting to be there. And it was like, I chuckled and I looked at Mrs. Toy, and she's like, I've got this. She goes, I've got this. And real calm, didn't show any anxiety. She just went right to her classroom. And then I did see the tech team out there too. I saw yes, I saw them in and out and everywhere and getting everything all set up for them. So thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, and it was good to see Janie Alvarado. I think she was there too. And Summer and Miss Ariano. So yeah, no, it was a good first beginning for McKinnon. And I do plan to go to New Republic probably the next. I'll call them and, make sure that they know I'm coming. So that's it for me. Oh, and I joined some of the staff in prayer for our student and church. And it was, we just need to continue praying for the family. Thank you.
Okay, for myself, I'm looking forward to back to school night next week. And I did receive 2 calls with to Melissa, and just so the public kind of is aware, I did receive calls about the transition from 6th grade, since now they're not changing as many classes as before. So if you can maybe just give some comments to the public to kind of know, I guess, the reasoning behind the changes and as much information as you can provide. Just I did mention that I would bring it up, and that way they can kind of, yeah.
You now?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So there's been conversation for a couple of years about changing, one, reducing to the 6-period day to provide longer periods for students because their 7-period day had such short class periods. They were under 50 minutes per day. And also the 6th grade moving to that more multiple subject type of day to provide a better transition for students coming from elementary to middle school. And so the students are with the one homeroom teacher for 4 periods out of the day, potentially more. Because for 1 period, they're going to PE, and for another period, they're going to an elective. And so their teacher may be providing the elective or potentially PE, depending on that student's particular schedule. in the past, most of our sixth grade teachers had a core subject schedule, so they had the same students for 3 periods. Now it's for 4 periods and potentially more. And the reasoning behind that was, one, to provide the smoother transition, and two, academically, the teachers could better provide for like those interventions because they're not as locked into the 6-period day. There's more flexibility, like there would be in 5th grade, to say we're going to have an intervention period and we can fluidly exchange students with each other to provide intervention or enrichment at a student's particular level, and then switch back without that being a locked schedule for the full year. So more fluid interventions throughout the school year. And then Summer can talk about the school climate piece. That was also a really big factor in that.
So one of the big factors in making that decision is, and as we got kind of student voice last year, what we heard is that as our students transitioned from the elementary where they had strong connections with the classroom teacher, they transitioned to the middle school where, because they had 7 periods, they were really challenged to do that. And we saw that really impacting our suspension rates as well as discipline referrals. And so we really started to talk about like what's missing in this equation. And what was missing is coming into that space, forming some of those meaningful connections, forming some of those friendships, because we're bringing kids together from different schools and giving that opportunity to build those relationships before we get into that 7-period, now 6-period day for them. And so we've already seen a big impact. I mean, we've had our 6th graders they're getting that opportunity to be with that teacher, to understand the structure that's there, but still experience those middle school experiences within that. Some of the 6th grade teachers, like Becky shared, are making the decision to switch classes still for certain areas or certain students, so that they get that, but yet they know they have a home base where they can come to if they need additional support. So we're already seeing an impact in our climate, and I'm assuming that will continue.
Perfect. That was great for those watching in the public. The other thing I mentioned as far as rollout is I did notice, because obviously my drive is that traffic, it seems like people are friendlier and letting people kind of roll in. You guys,
Yeah. I'd like to take responsibility. No. So there's something there, but one of the things that came up, I got a couple of messages from parents, especially at La Jolla and at Santa Rita, around traffic. Because so many students are staying for after school programming, it's reducing the number of pickups that are there. So we don't have as much car traffic coming in. And so one of the parents, I got a call from a parent a couple of days ago saying how much nicer that pickup time is because it's so much more staggered. And so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that works throughout the year. But with kids having the opportunity to come at 7:30 for before school and then being able to stay till 6 p.m., it's kind of dispersed some of that traffic that we were seeing before. So I hope people are being nicer, and I think there's less traffic coming into our schools.
No, good to know, because I know at first, the first week can be kind of crazy as far as people getting out of there. But what I always try to do is I try to time it, how long it takes me to get to the other side. And it hasn't been, I mean, pretty bad. People move along, so I want to appreciate the public and the parents is, it kind of helps move traffic along if obviously we take turns and kind of, be safe with the kids kind of crossing and stuff. So I just wanted to point that out for the public as well.
I'll say one more thing about that, just because I got a call from John Murray today, which is I think he's still the chief of police. I can't remember if he's acting still with Salinas PD, acting chief of police with Salinas PD. And I really want to thank him. He's great about reaching out to us, and he has increased police presence as much as possible in that Santa Rita area as well, just to kind of support during the school's opening and closing time. And so he just reached out today to see if we had had an impact, or if that had an impact. I actually haven't been there during dismissal at that time, so I couldn't respond to that. So I'll share that. But I was really grateful that they were keeping that in mind as school started.
Yeah, I did see somebody from the sheriff for La Jolla area. Yeah. So I did notice that right away. So that's the only comments I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Just a couple of comments. With the start of the year, my concerns, and this is directed to the superintendent as well as the cabinet, and that is staffing. Make sure every classroom is staffed with qualified people. Resources, make sure staff has the resources to make sure they get the job done. Technology, make sure all the students are equipped with working devices. We're working, making sure they have the ability and capability to engage themselves in the classroom, and obviously safety. And I have noticed the difference in traffic patterns. I know at New Republic, for some reason, I've been there, 15 years now? There was no drama this year. So there's something going on, regarding the traffic pattern. So hopefully it continues. Having said that, the number one topic in town, and I'm getting a lot of phone calls, and every time I talk to people, and that is, the regarding cell phone use and how other districts are moving forward with banning cell phone use and doing different ways of carrying that out. I've heard from teachers from my own district that have implemented it in middle schools, and in the short time already, it's made some amount of difference. People are communicating. Students are talking at lunch. I think I shared with the board, I taught summer school this year, and when I went out to look at the students, 90% were sitting next to each other, but not talking to each other. 90%. And this is their free time. And people ask why we have a divided world, people don't communicate anymore. And when they do communicate, they use it for sometimes negative reasons. So regarding this, however we're going to do a cell phone ban use, if we do it, this district is going to do it the right way. We're going to do the best choices, best methodologies. We won't be rushed into anything. However, I do see a need. I do see a major need. And so our mental wellness of our students is paramount. And so I think we should be having this discussion as time goes on. Having said that, that's it for me, Superintendent.
Well, we're gathering all kinds of information. You may have been sent a link to take a survey. We've got a couple of different methods that we've sent out for not just parents and staff, but for some student feedback as well. So we'll be able to bring all of that information to you on the 28th with some cost analysis between products and things like that we've gathered, as well as some of our neighboring districts who have implemented this either recently or have had a year or two already with it and can give us some anecdotal feedback, some problems that they saw or challenges, and bring that back for a discussion on the 28th for the board.
Yeah, and I'd love to see people who've done this 3 years, 5 years. Like there's districts that have implemented this a long time ago, and what their recommendations are.
And as you know, the governor just sent out information, supporting that schools do put something in place. And so that's being challenged by different groups right now. But so we're kind of right in the midst of all of that. So we'll gather all of that information and bring it back for you to have a comprehensive discussion. It was a great start to the school year. It was so fun to see all of our cabinet out at all of our schools on the first day, as well as during our PD day, because Becky said it's all hands on deck and gave us all assignments for a couple of the days that she needed people to help facilitate things. And so it was really fun to go and assist in those things, and to see Rosa and Claudia and our team out there supporting our teachers and our staff during their professional learning. So that was really fun.
Alrighty then. Thank you everybody for sharing. We're going to move forward with our agenda to 8.1, information and discussion items. First up is once again 8.1, anti-bias grant, California Center for School Climate.
So this is just an informational update. I had last year received the anti-bias grant. We put that grant forward, and within that grant, the services that were going to be provided, some of those providers weren't able to do it exactly as was planned in there. So I put in a revision to the grant, and that was approved by CDE. And the revision to that grant includes some additional work with building healthy communities, and then brings in the Center for School Climate to replicate some of those services that we've had before. The student listening circle, the parent forums, providing a deep dive data into our California Healthy Kids survey, and then some parent workshops as well. So just a modification to that grant that we have and bringing that in with California Healthy Kids. So just an informational update because we did change the scope.
Okay. Any comments, board members? Okay, 8.2, Anti-Bias Grant Action Council, Building Healthy Communities Initiative.
So this is the second part of that update to the grant. So building healthy communities was always included within the grant, but in meeting with them and really looking at the needs of our district, especially after we started planning for our professional development days, as a team, we decided to kind of modify the scope and sequence of that work that BHC was doing, especially in collaboration with the California Center for School Climate. So you'll notice that within that BHC is going to be coming in and doing classroom lessons for our schools at all sites. Last year, they came to New Republic after a racist incident that occurred and provided classroom lessons for students around how words hurt. They're going to expand that out and do that at all of our elementary sites, actually twice during the year. You'll see that it also includes a lunchtime group at both of our middle schools. One of our goals is to have Black and Brown Unity bringing together our Centro Binacional program along with our Black student leadership group. And so what we're going to do is really provide that space first for our students, and then those teams are going to work together to really create a coalition at each of our sites so our students have a place to go on campus each and every day with somebody who they feel connected to. And then the next part is professional development for our staff. And that happened already. We did our first during the professional development day with great feedback around really our staff said we need some practical advice on how to respond when racism is happening in front of us. And so Dr. Vanessa Littleton was able to really spend time answering staff's questions around, you know, what does that response look like? And so they are scheduled within this grant to provide professional development during each of our PD days as well. So just an update. Small change in scope, but good changes.
Just a comment. I just want to commend you and our staff. You know, I personally, and I'm sure most people agree, we've seen an increase of growing development with racism, you know, across our country, and especially as educators, it's our responsibility to try to deal with it as much as possible. I'm really appreciating the multi-pronged effort that the district's making. You know, we're celebrating diversity by becoming more inclusive, creating more programs to expand outreach, and at the same time providing professional development and additional educational opportunities. And we're bringing in local resources, local experts to help us with this battle. So what else can I say? Just keep it up. And I wish there would come a day where we wouldn't need something like this, but it won't be for a long time coming. So I'm totally supportive of this. I'm sure the rest of my fellow board members are, and Godspeed and good luck, and let's get some development going. Yeah. Thank you.
How much was the grant for?
200,000. And you can utilize that 200,000 over a 3-year period. We're actually using it in a 1-year period because I'll be able to reapply even though it's within the 3 years in year 2. So we'll expand the full grant this year with the hopes of reapplying at the end of this year to continue those services next year.
Great. Thank you.
Once again, thank you, everybody. All right, we're going to move on to action items. 9.1, approval of resolution 24.08.19. Addendum to the City of Salinas West Area Specific Plan Environmental Impact Report and the Sabrana Elementary School Project.
So this is one of the requirements to remain eligible for funding. It is part of the process and it's also a requirement for CDE approval.
Okay, board, I would entertain a motion unless there's a comment.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Motion
Captain.
4-0.
All right, next item, action item 9.2, approval of updated authorizations list.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Oh, lovely.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, Captain.
Motion 4-0.
9.3, approval of Emergius. Am I saying that right? Contract?
You got
Emergius. Emergius.
Emergis.
Emergius.
Yes, you got it.
Okay.
This is a company that was formerly Maxim. So we've been contracting with them for the last several years. We've done a fantastic job filling all of our positions with internal folks. This is a contracted behavior aid. but it is a unique position. So it's a writer position that goes up to the Bay School in Santa Cruz and then comes back, works for us for a few hours, and then goes all the way back up to the Bay School and supports a student on transportation. So it's a writer. Again, what you'll notice is this is a low money amount. So we are still attempting to fill the position internally. So this is for the next, I believe it's 18 days. 19 days. So, and I will bring it back if we do need to extend this contract.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, Captain.
Motion 4-0.
All right, now next item, 9.4, approval of contract with Bay School.
So this one's just like what it sounds like. It's a contract for that same student to attend the Bay School in Santa Cruz. This was a student that was formerly in county programs, and that's no longer a viable option. So we have placed the student as of spring break last year up at the Bay School. So this is continued work into this next school year.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 9.4.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye, Captain.
Motion 4-0.
9.5, approval of updated ELOP program plan.
So similar to the other informational item, but this one requires approval. As we make changes to our expanded learning opportunity plan, I have an obligation to bring that to you as a board. This plan is being updated because the original plan included positions that continue to be posted, but have been posted for an extended period of time that have been unable to be filled, that haven't had applicants. And given our need to be able to provide this and the requirement to provide services to all students in the Santa Rita district, we needed to move forward with some of those modifications. That includes our partnership with Right at School, as well as our partnership with Boys and Girls Club, and then continuing with our internal recruitment of staff to provide those services as well. I think it's really important to note within this plan that our goal is to serve 100% of qualified students. That means as currently we're serving around 300, 380 district-wide across all of our sites, and our goal is to continue to recruit and create programming for our students.
Like I said earlier, grow it, grow it, grow it. Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve 9.5.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Captain.
Motion 4-0.
All right. Next up, 9.6, approval of Siemens contract services.
That is my item. And as you might probably hear before from Victor, there has been some challenges with the fire inspection and the calls. Sometimes the turnaround to get someone to get here and look at the system is about 30 days. And usually what they do is the Bay Alarm contracts a third-party company to come and serve our system because not a lot of companies know how to work the system because it's pretty outdated. So Victor and Jesus went out there and did some research and see what company can offer better pricing and better technology that can help us with that issue. And we are proposing to move forward with this company that I have here in the board item. It is less expensive. So over the 3 years, we're going to be saving about $25,000 per year. We do have a one-time fee to be able to change all the equipment for the new equipment. And like I said, it's better technology. It's going to be faster. And we're actually contracting with the company that Bay Alarm is contracting to come over here. So now we're directly through them. So it's, of course, it's going to be cheaper. There is a one-time cost for the equipment, like I said, labor and permits and all of that. We do have some money on the maintenance grant that we are going to be utilizing. Again, over the 3 years, we're looking at a savings close to $70,000. So it's a win-win. It's helping to fix our problem and it's helping us save in the long term. The one time for the equipment and the labor and the permits, we were able to get about $8,000 reduction after explaining that we are on budget cuts right now through the state. So I'm glad we were able to have some savings there. And that's pretty much it. And thanks to Victor and Jesus for doing some of the research and working with this with me. Thanks.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'm in a second, but I just wanted to let you guys
Comment.
know, as somebody who lives next to Santa Rita, this is this is really a problem. And
You mean the alarms going off aren't like musical to you?
it's not. And Victor's seen me in my sweats and my flip flops more than is real. He's yeah. So just and he's always been so gracious about getting there. I've now, you know, fire department's been really gracious, but if we could not have this as a regular occurrence, it'd be great. So second.
You know, they could play Jingle Bells, just letting you know.
All those in favor?
Aye, Captain.
Motion 4-0.
All right, 9.7, approval of revisions to job description for Director of Special Education and Student Services and Coordinator of Extended Learning.
Yes, we have made some revisions to the job descriptions of Director of Special Education and Student Services and the Coordinator of Expanded Learning. More specifically, we have moved the responsibilities of attendance out of the director position and moved them to the coordinator. So hence why we are changing also the title to Coordinator Expanded Learning and Attendance.
Any discussion? I'm ready to entertain a motion.
Yeah, that was pretty straightforward with this. Yeah. Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Captain.
Motion 4-0.
9.8, approval of revised certificate in management salary schedule.
So yes, we have revised the certificated salary schedule to reflect a 5% increase to the position of Coordinator of Expanded Learning and Attendance due to the added responsibilities. So the dollar amount will vary depending on the placement of the individual that is holding the position. We have also renamed the range column from numbers to letters. Before it had an odd numbering, but we have changed that. So just to make it a little bit more clear.
Motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second, and appreciation for the continuing work of just making life more straightforward and more equitable.
Actually, can I add on to that a little bit? Considering the county we're in and considering all the different districts, I just want to say thank you of loyalty to our superintendent and the entire staff. You know, it's becoming very competitive. And people can now choose and leave and go wherever they like. There's such a need, not only for teachers, but lo and behold, admin staff as well now. And so on behalf of the board, if that's okay, I just want to once again reiterate what Sarah just said. And that loyalty and allegiance means something at this district. And we want to say thank you. Thank you very, very much. And we hope to work with you for many years to come. That's it. Sarah?
So all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion 4-0.
Okay. 10.1. Hey, we chose
9.9.
Oh, 9.9. Oh, there's uno más. Okay, here we go. All righty
Gotta hire
then.
people.
Yes.
9.9, approval of employment of Elisa Echevarria and Desiree Carmona on the basis of a provisional internship permit. Really, I'm the one who's making sure we're fully staffed, and I dropped this one. Oh my God. 24-25 school year.
So the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing requires that the board take action and this be listed as an action item before we employ anyone under the basis of a provisional internship permit, just to make sure that there are no objections and that the public is aware that those are the conditions under which we are hiring these two employees.
You know, Elva, many moons ago, that's how I was hired.
Yeah, yeah.
Just letting you remember those good old days, you know.
A motion to approve.
Second, and I also want to appreciate Becky and then now Claudia. Becky did a great job with all of our employees that were working on their credentials last year. We were able to retain a lot of wonderful people because they did the work to allow themselves to be retained. So absolutely second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, Captain.
Motion 4-0.
All right. Our next board meeting is what, August 28th? Any suggestions for items? I know we're probably going to get an update on the cell phone ban use, but anything other than that?
At some point, not August 28th, but at some point I'd like to talk about what's available 0-3 to people in our area through the county or otherwise, because we're in a transitional phase.
And then just enrollment numbers, how we're doing. Yeah.
Before we close the meeting, I want to thank Sarah for stepping up to run for 4 more years.
You're stuck with me now.
I know. I know. And the fact that she dragged me with her for 4 more years.
There
Look what
was
you've done.
there was a very worried text on Thursday night saying, "Hi, I'm looking and you haven't registered and tomorrow's the last day. Let's talk about this."
Well,
But,
congratulations to the both of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank my fellow board members. We make a good team. You know, whatever issues we have, we resolve and we seek consensus. So thank you to my fellow board members. Having said that, I would hereby entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye, Captain.
Aye.